Welcome to Off Topic. Today we're going to be talking about Daredevil.
The Ben Affleck movie.
Yes, the best Daredevil there is. What other Daredevil is there?
Because that's what I watched.
Yeah, I watched the 4-hour director's cut, like perfect, like Jon Favreau, awesome Daredevil.
Dude, he directed that?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, shit. So, not that one.
Not that one. We're going to be watching the Netflix awesome new Daredevil that's come out on Netflix. I'm just going to jump in there and say I really love this show. It's fucking awesome.
So, well, let me ask you this. Pretend I know nothing about Daredevil.
Okay.
Who is Daredevil?
Why do you want me to do this?
I don't know.
There's a blind guy. If we're going, like, honestly, I'm going to be like, all right, Daredevil is a badass guy who is tough as nails and can get beat up and get back up. And that's how I know Daredevil. And if you wanted me to tell you about this story particularly, I'd say this story is a good representation of Frank Miller's Daredevil.
So I ask you that because before this, my only real experience with Daredevil was that shitty movie. I never read the comics, so I always thought, like, oh, Daredevil, he's blind, that sucks. And he does, like, weird, like, ninja moves, but he's blind. I just always thought of him as a very lame character.
I was working at Barnes & Noble, and one of my friends was Frank.
Frank Miller?
Yeah, Frank Miller came into the store and was just working with me for no fucking reason. He was like 67, could barely even pick up a book and didn't know what a computer was. My friend Frank Huerta, really great guy.
Should we say last names?
I mean, I'm just telling him like how I mean, if I was like and he stabbed a guy, I'd be like, no, let's not say his last name. But I'm just telling you like who introduced me to comics. He just showed me Sin City. And I was like, this is a really cool story about a guy that's tough as nails, that gets beat to shit, and comes back to succeed, beating the crap out of a bunch of guys. And it's total testosterone-driven. Sin City is essentially the outline for all Frank Miller's comic books. So if you want to see somebody become tough as nails, read a Frank Miller comic book. So if he writes Batman, Batman's a 60-year-old that's tough as nails, that gets beat to shit, and then comes back and beats up Superman. If you want to read Daredevil, you read Frank Miller's run because it is the ultimate in tough as nails Daredevil. It also introduces Elektra, the Hand, and does it in a really realistic, ultra-violent way that's really awesome. Frank showed me all this, and I ate up everything Frank Miller did, and a part of that was The Man Without Fear. He also had No More Mr. Nice Guy, which is probably the most popular Daredevil cover. What do you think? Now, this being, I guess, your first accurate representation of Daredevil?
I guess non-shitty one. Non-Afflecked.
Yeah, non-Afflecked. Can I say that I don't think he Afflecked the Batman character as bad as he Afflecked the Daredevil character, and I think that he Afflecked the Daredevil character was bad because of Ben Affleck. It was just, it might have been the writing, I think it was just the way he delivered the lines and the smug attitude he had really bothered me. But for Batman, he did a good job.
Haven't seen it yet, so
shit. Oh, well, it doesn't
can't
matter.
agree or disagree. But I really enjoyed the sad.
The sad fleck.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. That made me want to see the movie even more.
Absolutely, man. I feel pretty bad for the guy, but at the same time, I don't, because he won an Oscar for Best Director for a movie that was very mediocre.
Was that Fargo?
Argo.
Oh,
Take off the F and take out the Coen brothers.
Sargo?
And replace Ben Affleck with all of it. And you have Argo. I don't like movies where directors direct themselves either.
The movie was okay. I mean...
Yeah, it was an okay movie. I don't know if it was the best of that year. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it deserved the Oscar. I'm not sure if he deserved the Oscar. I'm not sure. I really liked him in Mallrats. And he was Bomb in Phantoms.
He was what in Phantoms?
The Bomb in Phantoms.
Oh, I don't remember that. I remember
that was
sneaking...
Kevin Smith reference.
Oh.
You the Bomb in Phantoms. Hey, Affleck, you the Bomb in Phantoms. It's Jay Muse.
So, my second, or I guess, reintroduction to Daredevil, with that first season, like instantly the grittiness of the character.
The tone, right?
I never really thought of that. I was like, oh, he's kind of like Batman, if we're making comparisons. He has that whole, I don't want to kill people thing. He's not, you could say he kind of does have superpowers, but he doesn't really.
Well, we'll talk about that later, because there's actually an NPR episode I listened to that shows that all blind people can do what he does.
Oh, well, I was thinking, like, just based on, again, my experiences coming from the shitty movie and the show, it doesn't seem to me like he really has superpowers. And he's so limited. Like, every superhero has a weakness. He has a very real weakness. Like, being blind, it's not like you're like, I don't know, Venom, and it's like fire and like sonic waves.
Yeah, there's no
whatever.
Kryptonite for him. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went with Venom. The Kryptonite.
Well, you're
obvious.
definitely a Spider-Man guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think either of us are really Superman guys, but Kryptonite's I guess the first thing that was like one object that can defeat one person.
Yeah, that's like the go-to.
Yeah, that
weakness.
that has to be the iconic way to talk about it. Did you know that there was going to be, before this came out, Fox still had the rights to this, and James Gunn, I do believe, had a version of Daredevil that he wanted to release in movie form, and they were going to lose the rights, so they were rushing to go into production, but they missed the line and ended up not making anything. It reverted back to Marvel. That was probably for the better, but it was going to be set in the 70s. And it was going to be an ultra-violent 70s Superfly version of Daredevil done by James Gunn, the guy that ended up doing Guardians of the Galaxy. And he really wanted to... You know that music thing he does, where he makes you think the movie's better by having great music?
Okay, well...
Sorry, whoa. You know that music thing he does? It's my opinion.
No, I think, well, at least with Guardians, the music was integral to the plot. It wasn't just on top.
I agree, yeah. I was just fucking being mean, but...
I know, I wanted to jump in there
and fix my meanness. I just think sometimes that... I get happy when I hear a certain song, and then I don't realize what I'm enjoying. Like, I'm like, well, this is a really cool fight scene, but this song has fucking got it going on. So I'm like, I don't know which one I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the movie, or I'm enjoying this just song. I don't know.
Well, it's the same with lighting or any other, like, filmmaking technique.
Hate light. Let's talk about the superpower thing real quick, because, all right, so I listened to NPR, This American Life, and they're talking about this blind kid that grew up, who now can ride a bicycle. He can go around objects. And what he does is uses echolocation, using a series of snapping sounds that he learned how to make as a very young boy. Like, they sound like kind of like... But with the way he does it is like... and like super fast. Like, you hear it like... It's crazy, and I'm not making this up.
I know,
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. So he's on a bicycle doing these noises, and he can see. And then when they ask him, like, well, what do you see? And he says, I can see shapes of everything around me. So he's essentially learned how to echolocate. And so that being said, that's essentially what Daredevil's power is. So this vat of toxic shit fell on him, and the truth is that did nothing, and he just learned how to echolocate.
He just, yeah.
Oh man, which is, I think, is a better origin story, where it's just like this vat of toxic chemicals landed on him and did nothing to him.
It really sucks for him because, again, going back to Spider-Man, he gets bitten by a radioactive spider and he has all these powers and not really any weaknesses.
Yeah.
And Daredevil just goes blind.
Yeah, he just goes, well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, he just goes blind and then gets taught by a guy named Stick to be real badass.
So, question for you. Matt Murdock is a badass, but would Helen Keller be even more of a badass because she is both blind and deaf?
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine she'd be able to fly. Actually, she became, I mean, considering that she never spoke or heard anything, she became a political activist. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, like, her life is fucking cool. Like, she did a lot for a person that's just like...
Does it make you feel bad?
Sorry,
it makes me
covering
feel...
my eyes and ears at the same time and going...
Does it make you feel bad? It makes me feel bad that these people can accomplish these amazing things, and I can barely just like, I don't know, get to work on time
Just
and
like
not be
like
pissed.
it's like last week they shut off my water, and I could have done something about that because I have ears, eyes, I have all of these benefits that other people don't have, and I can't even time issue sometimes.
I feel accomplished because I ordered a Blue Apron and followed the directions and made an edible meal. That made me feel like a fucking superhero. I was like, fuck yeah. Like
I
so
picked
that's
my car
my
from
life.
the shop and felt like a superhero driving home, being like, "Yeah, my car works. What's up?"
Expectations, man.
It's like
just,
an Onion article. Man wakes up and fixes his car at. Anyway, all right, let's
awesome people.
Let's go back to Daredevil and get off Helen Keller. Tonally, I think that this show is unfaltering in the way it keeps the same tone, which is dark, gritty, and devastating. And it's kind of like The Walking Dead, but not as formulaic. So in The Walking Dead, it's like people show up, somebody dies. Oh my God, we weren't expecting that. With this one, it's just like dark and gritty, but at any point you're willing to suspend your disbelief and think that anyone in the cast could pass away. In my opinion,
well, see, it's more than that. I do think Walking Dead relies heavily on the whole
on the killing
shock
people,
factor.
yeah,
Like,
shock. Oh my God. Especially in that last episode.
I haven't seen this season
Jesus
at all.
Christ! Oh no, I'm kind of over that show. I'm sick and tired of like, da 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 da, such a sunny day, and then a guy comes out with a fucking machete and cuts off people's like heads. You're like, all right, well, I didn't see that coming because it's not even. There was nothing that led to that.
It almost reminds me of, I think, like the third season of Heroes, where you were just watching. Each episode had like this cliffhanger, like, oh my God! I don't know. I guess it's more like cliffhanger, shock value than it is plot progression.
Yeah, I agree. And this show is all plot progression. I love it. I think that what this movie or this show does is similar to like the Daredevil movie, which is like creates a really cool idea and puts you inside of a world. I honestly think I know you haven't seen it, but it's what Batman versus Superman failed to do. Like create a world and suck you into it. I think this show does it very well. My absolute favorite thing, and I've heard some flack about this, and I'm not really able to find any flack. Like if you go online, everybody agrees with me on this. And Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin, best character on the show.
Clearly,
absolutely. One of the funny things I found on Reddit though was a comment. I couldn't go back and find it because Reddit's is just a pool of opinions for years. But it just said basically, is Wilson Fisk on the autism spectrum? And I thought that was actually funny,
yeah.
But at the same time I was like, maybe. Like a high functioning autistic kid that can't really deal with not getting his way. I mean,
I never thought about that till you brought it up right now, but I was like, holy shit,
yeah,
that
when I read that,
makes
I was
sense.
like, wow. And I laughed, but only because of the fact that, like, I don't know. I'm not making fun of autistic people, obviously, hopefully. But basically, like, the whole thing is, like, you could pretty much lead a normal life without even knowing that you're autistic. And a lot of the things he does, like his speech impediments and stuff like that, really seem like he is.
Like the staring at the wall.
Yeah, the staring off, the like kind of like seeing, or he definitely sees a world in a different light than everybody around him. I don't know. I like that idea.
Dude, Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk is so badass. So my girlfriend kind of likes the show, but she'll kind of tune out and get on her phone and start getting on Facebook or, whatever, Amazon shopping, whatever she wants to do. But his performance is so captivating. She'll
stop what she's doing and look up.
That second season with that Wilson
episode
Fisk
9.
episode.
Let's wait on that, man. I want to get to that. But
I just wanted to say, I'm not going to get into it too much, but she was all like, she got happy. She started clapping.
Oh, that he was back?
And I even made a comment before that.
I mean, I clapped inside too.
Well, I made a comment before that. I was like, I love this season. I love, I forgot the actor's name. John something or other.
Bernthal?
Yeah, as the Punisher. Amazing Punisher.
I thought that was a bad casting until I saw him in it. Love it.
Yeah. But I was like, I want the Kingpin back.
Yeah.
But then when I got it, I was like, fuck.
That was the one where I knew he was going to come back. Obviously, the biggest flaw to Daredevil is that he doesn't kill.
Well, I thought it was 'cause he's blind.
Not the not the biggest flaw, but like the biggest thing is that he doesn't kill. So I mean, any bad guy that he defeats is always going to come back. That's not being said about the heroes because of the fact that in the Daredevil, I mean, he loses a lot of people. Why I wanted to wait on that was I wanted to get your opinion on on the first season and then the second season of the show. So like the first season was definitely an origin story. But I think it did an origin story way better than I've ever seen an origin story be done. In the sense that it really, really set a precedent of the characters and set the whole thing tonally. On top of that, Kingpin. But what do you think about the first season as far as like an origin story? Do you think it was a good start for him?
Yeah, I think what I liked about it, it wasn't, you say the whole season was... But or I don't know if that's what you're saying, but it felt like it happened really fast, and I wouldn't have liked to see like 6 episodes where he's like a kid and training. You get bits and pieces as the show is going on, and it's moving the plot forward.
Which is what Deadpool did.
Yeah, and you're getting enough of like, Kingpin and I guess his relationships with these other characters. You get that, and it's only the origin that's sprinkled in, which I think if they would have done too much of it, I wouldn't have liked it.
I would have hated it. Yeah, I'm fucking over origin stories, man. Like I really want them, if they're gonna start making like more Spider-Man movies, fucking just start it halfway through. I knew what happened. He gets bit by a fucking spider, turns into a Spider-Man. I get it.
He was bit.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
By a spider.
I think he might have been raped by a spider. I think it was spider rape.
So this podcast is going that way. It's going that way.
Stanley's really fucked up, man. I think it's the best origin story I've ever seen on film. The second season, the biggest problem that I had with it was honestly that it didn't have Kingpin and that it didn't have a legitimate, concrete bad guy for the first half. You're like learning about the Hand, and then you get that one episode at episode 9 with Fisk in jail, which that's the last episode I saw in its entirety. I've seen 1 through 9, and I fucking loved it. As soon as I saw that episode, I was like, this is the best episode in the season. It was great to have him back. And then that shot of him lifting all that weight is taken directly from the comic books, which is always great, because it's like Kingpin in the comic books is this big fat guy, but the truth is he's like 100% muscle.
So what happened at the end of that one?
He releases a Punisher.
Okay.
He like opens up the doors and goes, release the Punisher. And basically he like uses the Punisher like a sock to do everything he wanted in the prison, and then lets him go.
Dude, that fight scene when he closes the doors and like the Punisher just like goes to fucking town.
It was, what it reminded me a lot of? That scene of Old Boy. Have you seen Old Boy?
Yes.
You know that scene, that tracking scene that's like a super long tracking scene where he's just beating guys up and he gets stabbed in the back and it's all one shot?
Yeah, can we talk about the fight scenes?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you? So one thing that I love about Daredevil in general is the fight scenes. So you have this juxtaposed to like the Avengers movies, who are like, they're fucking legit superheroes.
Yeah,
it's fucking the Hulk, who is, I guess in my opinion, like one of the strongest superheroes in Marvel, but that's like a total nerdy thing we can go off on for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Then Thor, who's a god.
Mm-hmm.
So they're fighting these like galactic invaders.
They don't have time for the little man.
Yeah. But you see Daredevil and you see the Punisher in these fucking
gritty,
intimate fight scenes where it's not like, oh, I can just destroy all these guys.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to take damage. And in those close quarters, it seems to me, I don't know if I'm a fucking weirdo, it seems more satisfying to see that action and those that kind of go back and forth. Maybe it is because these characters are basically human and have weaknesses.
Yeah, I think that definitely has a lot to do with it. I think also you get into the martial arts aspect. And like, while I love a great superhero movie, I mean, if you go back, the first superhero movies were going to be kung fu movies like Bruce Lee. He's essentially a superhero if you really think about it. Like, put a fucking costume on him, he could be Daredevil in all of those movies. I think that's something that you can really, really capture in this show that you can't capture in a gigantic $300,000 or $300 million production of an Avengers movie. Just too big in scope. This one you can really just go down to the foot. I like that. To the foot. Oh! The foot versus the hand. You know about the correlation between Daredevil and
the Ninja Turtles thing, but go right ahead.
No, you go.
My knowledge of it, I guess Ninja Turtles was a response to Frank Miller's Daredevil, and I guess the grittiness of Frank Miller's Daredevil, so they kind of want to do something similar, and you can kind of see a lot of the same like elements, just like the whole like mass, I guess what would you call them, foot soldiers, like so coming in and
hand, it's a foot.
Yeah. And then there's a Stick, the trainer, and Splinter.
A splinter off the
It's like a lot of.
If you were talking earlier about Matt Murdock being shortchanged, he went blind, and this stuff that got in his eyes actually turned a bunch of turtles into human beings, into humanoids. Like, that stuff really gypped him, whatever it was.
Well, that's the difference between New York toxic waste and Jersey toxic waste. That's my theory. He got contaminated with Jersey toxic waste.
Yeah, so. There you go. And he's like, hey, bro, come over here. I can't see anymore. Oh, my God. I'm in Jersey.
It was what was left of James Gandolfini's body that got melted onto his face.
I think the 90s really, 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 really sucked in the sense that every time it did satire, it did it really poorly. Like, anytime you watch anything that's satirical, like, I don't really understand. I get the whole response of Ninja Turtles to Daredevil, but I just don't understand where they came up with that. Like, I just don't understand how it's like, all right, well, it's a response. Yeah, but it's also its own thing, and you just kind of... It's almost like he started out satirizing Daredevil and just ended up making Daredevil with turtles.
Yeah.
And which I'm like, that's not a satire. Now you're just fucking blatantly copying. Maybe giving it nods. I'm not really sure. Anyway, but I do like the fact that it, like you said, it's smaller scope, and we'll get more of it. What do you think about Luke Cage and Iron Fist? Do you know about those characters at all?
No, not too much.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist were heroes for hire. So in the 70s, they created a group of two guys, just them two, and basically they're exactly that. They're Angel, from Buffy, the Buffy series, and his own thing when he spun off. Like, he hired people when they needed a superhero.
Private Eyes.
Yeah, Private Eyes. Yeah, but with superpowers, because they actually have superpowers. Luke Cage is super strong, and his skin is impenetrable, and Iron Fist has the Iron Fist, which means that when he punches you, flame comes out. I'm not... I wish I was joking.
The funny thing about that, I imagine he has no superpowers, and he hits just about as strong as anybody who is not trained can hit, and it's just flames comes out. It's just for show. He's like flames. A magician.
There's a big controversy online because they actually cast a white guy to be Iron Fist, and I don't understand why people are upset because he's actually a white guy in the comic book. I guess they dropped the ball, maybe? Oh, no. I don't really care. Sometimes I care, like, if you came on and said, like, oh, Luke Cage is going to be white, I'd be like, what the fuck? But Iron Fist... But, yeah, there are no Asian superheroes.
Well, I thought, I've seen the character, and I've seen he has that yellow kind of...
Yellow headband. Yeah, it looks just like Daredevil did, but with yellow.
I don't know why I assumed he would be Asian.
I mean, with a name like Iron Fist...
Because I thought he was Iron Fist, and he was like, I don't know, good at karate or
that's exactly what he is. But the thing is, I think he's adopted. Essentially, take the plot line to Bloodsport and add a little bit of mysticism, and you have Iron Fist. Take JCVD. Now add a little bit of fire to his punches.
Fine with that.
So that's going to be the next thing that Netflix does. They're going to do the Heroes for Hire.
Okay, cool.
So that'll be cool. Elektra. What do you think about Elektra?
I liked Elektra. I actually looked up when I was seeing these fight scenes because I was like, whoa, yeah, I pay attention to fight scenes in particular. I think because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, those were the worst.
Yes, because it's kind of like the overhead shot, and they're clearly hiding the stunt double. So that made me very aware of stunt doubles, and
you can't tell.
Kind of to my detriment, because I want to suspend my disbelief, but I'm looking for this stunt double. With her, I was like, holy shit! Either the stunt double's really good, or they're actually using her. I found out she is a black belt in karate.
Oh, dope.
So I don't know if...
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar, even when she threw a punch at a punching bag, looked like a feeble little kid that couldn't punch. Like, it looked bad. Yeah. That show, I mean, I will also say that the budget for Daredevil has got to be 3 or 4 times the budget for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, though.
Oh, that's yeah, totally.
And also, it got better with Angel.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. I think that now also, like, in A&R, you can fix anything. You can just, like, add their faces in. Is that how you call it, A&R?
I don't think so.
No. A&D, ointment.
D&D.
D&D. In D&D, you can do anything.
If you're in a movie or a show and you roll a specific dice number, you can change anything on set. Little known fact.
Have you ever seen Magic and Mages?
No.
It is a Tom Hanks movie from the 80s that poses that D&D is really, really dangerous because people actually thought that and thought that it was the works of the devil.
Fuck,
and so there were all these.
That.
It's horrible, but the whole thing is that like he's pretending to be D&D, and then he like starts, I guess, like hallucinating and thinks he's actually in it, and the whole movie's played out like
it's like a D&D PSA.
Yeah, but the thing is, at the end of it, they're like, he's been lost in the land of D&D. And I'm like, no, obviously he has schizophrenia and you need to fucking help your friend. And you just let him cross a busy highway because he thinks he's being chased by a monster and you need to fucking help your friend.
Is that where Futurama got that whole, like... idea with
probably Magic and Mages. It's awful, and it has his face on it. But this movie was one of the first movies he ever did. So, like the DVD cover has his face on it, but he's a nobody when he came up with it. It's not a good movie. Definitely worth watching. Yeah, maybe not again, but yeah, it was good. It was funny. I love bad movies. You know that. What else do we have? Costume. What do you think about the costume?
I don't. I'm fine with it, but anytime a superhero actually puts on the costume, I'm reminded, I was like, oh, this is a comic book movie.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like,
That's actually what my friend said. A good friend of mine was like, I liked it until he put on the costume. And I was like, why? And he's like, because it's corny. And I'm like, I can see that it's corny. I kind of wish that he had stuck to the boxer thing. So, like, if you look up Frank Miller Daredevil, there's this awesome, it's this great rendered, painted version of him where he has boxing gloves on and he has boxing shorts on and he has the red suit over that. And I like that idea of him, like, keeping his father's lineage, like, of the boxer, the good guy boxer kind of thing. I really don't like how in all of these Marvel movies and any kind of Marvel, they turned it into like top of the line in army sportswear kind of thing. Like everything's like bulletproof and this and that.
They're trying to I guess do both things where it's like, well, let's make it believable because that's now the I would say the current trend. Let's make these superhero movies believable, but also if Batman never puts on the cape and cowl, if Daredevil doesn't put on the mask with the horns, people are going to lose their shit.
Yeah.
Nerds.
And I'm showing Jeff this picture.
I also like, so in this picture, Daredevil is kind of like, I would say the classic really bright red.
Yeah.
And in the series, it's very
like
dark and very muted. I like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think that the aesthetic of him looking like too high tech, I don't like. I don't like the way his mask looks. I'd rather it just be like, I don't need to have it have like little lenses on it. I like the fact that they had it broken in the beginning of the season to show like, yeah, well, I mean, Punisher shoots him in the head, cracks it in half, has to get it fixed. I thought that would have been a really, really easy way for them to pull off like a more traditional view of it. Way to kind of retcon that costume, because I really fucking hate that costume. The costume he has on the show, I just can't get behind it. He looks dorky. When he was all tied up, he was all like trying to get out, and like, no, you look like an idiot. Look at that. Look at that.
Compared to the Punisher, who basically the Punisher is his costume is bad. I would describe it as no fucks given.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like,
no
you see
fucks
my
given.
face? No fucks given.
Yeah, and that's actually when I first heard they were going to get John Bernthal to be the Punisher, I was like, oh, great. They're just getting some, like, meathead. And when I realized, like, oh, he looks all beaten up, like a Garth Ennis-style version of him. Garth Ennis did all the comic books that were the best Punisher comic books.
Punisher Max.
Punisher Max. That's, like, basically where they took the Punisher and made him start killing people. The Max series was, like, a rated R for comic books in the 90s when everything was about to go under. They kind of created a line of comic books for adults where there was nudity and there was ultra violence.
I'm going to say this.
Saved everything.
It may not be a popular view, but sometimes reading the Punisher Max series, it's a bit too much.
I agree. And you know what? I think that the Max series actually led to The Boys and a lot of the indie comics that are super ultra violent. To kind of make you understand, like, yeah, there's a point where you can go too far, and I think the 90s were that point in comic books where they let the artists start going crazy and just making everything super violent. Spawn came out, all this other stuff came out that was just ultra violent, and it got carried away with itself.
Sex and ultra violent, like I remember growing up with the comics where women are totally anatomically incorrect.
Oh, yeah.
Where you can see their ass and they're turning around, and you can also
see their breasts.
Yeah, like it's like I was like, how do you get in that position?
Yeah, where like Lobo's holding a fucking gun and has two girls in his hands, and they have like boobs that would break their backs and an ass that wouldn't be able to be supported by their tiny little legs.
If I were a writer at the time and I came back and I saw like the artwork, I would make so many yoga jokes. It's like, oh, it's 'cause she's good at yoga.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to Punisher, I really I think that they did a good job on casting on that. I was wrong, and that was good. What do you think about the costume? Do you think he's gonna get? Did you notice the little thing on online? I saw a little meme where they paused the scene where he's in the hospital and it shows his vitals, and the vitals make the Punisher symbol.
Yeah, there's a lot of little Easter eggs like that.
Do you think they're gonna put the actual T-shirt on him?
Well, I know.
You know,
yeah.
For sure?
Yeah, they resolved that by the end of the series.
All right, cool. So the same thing by the end of the series. Do you think he's going to get white go-go boots? I think that if they actually want to sell me on this, he has to have a pair of white go-go boots.
I actually think that would be pretty fucking
That'd
badass.
be awesome. Like, how tough do you have to be like, yeah, I'm wearing knee-high white go-go boots?
Again, all part of the no fucks given.
No fucks given, bro. Found these at a Savers.
Dude, if they actually did that, it would be super cool. Because do you know how blood spattered that shit would be?
That would be like, awesome. Those would not be white very long at all.
He would buy them and be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm a new Kicks. Yeah. And then, like, the first time, like, he goes out, he's like, oh, god damn it. And that would make him even more mad and kill even more people.
I always say that when somebody has new shoes, they look like Snoop Dogg. Because, you know, he just always has new shoes on. And I don't know if you've ever noticed that about him, but he's never worn, like, a pair of sneakers more than once. But
is this, like, a super old reference? Or like
No. I was just going to say how awesome it would be if, like, the Punisher had, like, 70 pairs of go-go boots. Because, you know, like, after one night's use, he couldn't wear those again, especially if they're white. I mean, he works in Kel's kitchen. It's dirty.
Can I say this for maybe younger millennials? It's like, you know how Drake always has the newest kicks? There you go. Younger millennials. That was for you.
We've incorporated all of you into this.
Do you want to start diving into the realm of hypotheticals?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The actor Charlie Cox, he's an attractive dude, right?
Charlie Cox, he's Daredevil?
Yeah.
All right. I guess.
Do women like him, or do they just like blind men on the show? Or he seems like he gets a lot of play.
I think it's the confidence, man.
Is it?
I think it's the matter of the fact that he's a blind dude and confident, always sharply dressed. Like, I mean, that shit doesn't exist, you know? And, like, obviously he's got the whole, like, sexy as hell thing going for him. I mean, he's in great shape. He can do cardiovascular movements and jump on buildings and do, like, fucking, what's that called? Freestyle walking?
Parkour?
Parkour! He can do parkour. You have to be really, really in good shape to do parkour. So I guess it was a mixture of the things, but I think that confidence is his number one thing.
I think it's because you can see the outline of his package in the Daredevil.
You think
suit.
he's just packing a huge Daredevil cock?
I don't know. I'm
Just
not
huge.
I'm not focusing on it.
I'd like to retcon everything I said up to now. It's because he has a big dick, Jeff. That's why he gets all the ladies.
There we go.
He's that big old Daredevil dick. DDD. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So how do you feel like if you were in the Marvel world, or I guess in the show Daredevil, would you be more like a
I would move.
Daredevil, or would you be more like Punisher? Where, because I kind of like agree with the Punishers, like these motherfuckers can come back.
Yeah, I mean, you see it when Kingpin's in there going like, all right, well, I'm going to come out and I'm going to rule the city. And not to mention that Daredevil essentially did all the work for the Yakuza and has paved the way for them to come back stronger and take over the city. Essentially, what he did was like what the president of Mexico did in destroying one cartel and siding with another one and ending the drug war in Mexico, because now one cartel's in charge of all of it. That's what Daredevil did. Like, he didn't really fix anything. Fucking Punisher rolls in there, kills a whole, like, fucking bunch of Irishmen.
We've seen several different origin stories within Daredevil. You know, Matt Murdock, you could say the Punisher, Kingpin's a big one. I'm just throwing it out there. Who are you? You're in this world. Who do you grow up to be?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm just like a guy walking down the street with a bag of groceries, and like Matt Murdock like hits me with his pole, and I go, "Hey, man!" I'm that guy.
You're none of those
nobody.
dudes.
Like, there's no way. I went to the gym the other day, got to the gym, and left. Like, I drove my car. I took a pre-workout. I got in my gym clothes. I got in my car, went all the way to the gym, parked my car, looked at the gym, and left.
More than I've done recently. So
I looked at it and I said, "Yeah, fuck this." Yeah, so there's no way that I'd be like, and I mean, if I wanted to go fight crime, I bet you I could go to like the lower valley and stop some crime somewhere. I can't
think
do that.
What, like a drug deal?
Yeah, go there and be like, "Hey, you okay, get an eighth?"
I think you're selling yourself short. Bare minimum, you are a low-level, low-ranking dude in that biker gang that
nice.
goes after Daredevil and gets knocked out immediately.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to
right,
give
thanks.
you more than just getting...
Who are you?
You...
You're like,
I'll get to that.
Hey.
You deserve at least to get knocked out by Daredevil, not touched by a stick by Matt
His
Murdock.
walking stick?
I don't know. I guess
I'm walking here.
My original question is, like, you know, you're put in these situations, and who do you most align yourself with?
I mean,
Do you turn out to be...
I guess I align myself with Daredevil the most. I like his principle. I understand Punisher. I guess I enjoy Punishers. It's the whole thing of easy over hard, right? Like Punisher's way is easier and keeps people gone forever, and Daredevil's way is hard and it's very temporary. So I'm not sure which one I like more. I definitely say that I steer towards Punisher, but in reality, I mean, I don't know. Am I a hippie or am I a Trump?
I don't know. I like Punisher, and I would say I would go more with Punisher or Kingpin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Punisher.
I don't think I could be that self-righteous. I mean, we both grew up Catholic, but I think Does that matter to him that much in the show? Like, you get glimpses of it, but do you think is that sort of Catholic guilt governing a lot of his choices?
I never thought it governed mine, and it definitely did.
Well, you're not blind.
It's true. It's true. I guess that means I read the Bible.
Well, not in Braille.
Oh, that's true. Well, once again, I read it and didn't feel it.
You just got done with the Bible. You're like, nah, not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. I just didn't feel it. Have you noticed that they're kind of like steering all the actions, like Gal Gadot, who's playing Wonder Woman, also super gorgeous supermodel that can't speak English. Elektra, another girl that's super hot, supermodel. By the way, somebody that skinny can't be that strong.
She's, like I said, black belt. I don't know.
That's cool. Maybe. But it seems like they're moving in that direction of taking it to like, all right, well, you guys don't like the fact that we're not making it more
white-centric.
Yeah, not so white-centric.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a person who's pale-complected. I'm fine with that. I don't have to like...
Jeff's Mexican and Irish and a bunch of... He's a mutt, but he looks very white. Like, I could say his name's Gary Smith, and you'd believe me.
From my own Gary Smith perspective, I don't mind. I don't necessarily have to see a white person. By the way, I don't think a lot of white people look like me. I don't look like...
No, you don't.
If you think of a white person, my face does not come up.
No.
Like, it's just not...
Definitely prettier. White people.
To me, I don't think it matters. I mean, you're pretty fair-complected, but, like, I don't think you look white. You can pass for white. Do you need to see, like, I need to see somebody... I need to see a fair-skinned Mexican be a superhero, or else, I'm not going to be into it.
Yeah, but it seems like that's what they go for, right? They never pick anybody that's like too... I mean, fuck. Zoe Saldana is going to be fucking Nina Simone, and that's kind of crazy. That's like the fairest black-skinned person
Do you know
ever.
who they're segregating against the most? And it's not any particular ethnicity or race. It's ugly people. Ugly people are villains.
Yeah.
Like, how many ugly superheroes?
Yeah. They're all supervillains.
We've talked about Frank Miller and Sin City, and I forgot the character Mickey Rourke plays. He's kind of an ugly superhero. But, yeah.
Other than that,
ugly people have it the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ugly people and fat people. Because, I mean, I haven't seen... any superheroes like bust out more than just even like a little bit of chub, like a little muffin top, like a little normal 40-year-old, 30-year-old muffin top doesn't come around ever.
But like we've said earlier, the best performance in Daredevil,
Kingpin,
Vincent
absolutely,
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, fucking
and
crazy guy from Full Metal Jacket.
I guess it's fine. Villains are, at least to me, infinitely more entertaining.
Definitely. To be honest, by season 2, halfway through
Deadpool?
season 2, it's a great, we always, but Deadpool's so meta, it doesn't really matter. He could look like anything. By season 2, by halfway through season 2, I definitely found more entertainment with the Punisher storyline, and going back and finding Kingpin. I definitely relate a lot more to the bad guys in all these movies. Same thing with Batman. Heath Ledger instead of Chris Bale. Heath Ledger definitely did a better job.
I like that you said Chris Bale, like it's
Christian Bale.
But no, it's like you know him well enough.
Oh
it's
no,
like,
Chris.
Well, when
Chrissy
I call,
Chris.
yeah, when I call him, it's
when I call Chrissy Chris,
Poo.
it's good.
Chrissy
like
Poo
I'm like,
Bale.
hey, what's up, Chrissy Chris? What you doing? Oh, you're just yelling at some light operator? Oh, that's cool, man. You want to hang out later? Okay.
Well, back in the day, you used to call him Criss Cross because he wore his pants the other way.
It was also because he would dress up in blackface and rap. Last question from me. how do you think Daredevil fits into the overall Marvel universe? So, like, do you think they're going to start crossing people over? Do you think it'll fit with the Avengers tone? Do you think that it's ever going to be able to meet with the movies? Because that's something that they've talked about.
Well, they're definitely setting something up. So, Karen Page's progression kind of as like a reporter, right?
Yeah.
In one of the scenes, they show a clip, a news clipping about the Avengers.
Okay.
So I don't know if, again, that's going to be an Easter egg sort of thing, or if that's something they want to work in. But I don't think you really need to bring Daredevil in, because he's so, like we were saying, he's like, his fight scenes are intimate. He's only kind of really fights.
He's like a foot soldier.
Yeah, I wouldn't say solves crime, but like helps with crime in Hell's Kitchen, his area. In the world of Marvel, I think you need people like Daredevil to look out for the little guy. It's kind of like Spider-Man. And you need people like Thor and Iron Man and even the Fantastic Four who are making sure the entire city of New York doesn't get destroyed, where Daredevil, Spider-Man are like, let me help the little person. And I like those superheroes a lot more than the ones that have almost infinite power and are stopping these gods from destroying New York, U.S., the world, what have you.
What about Kingpin? You don't want them to bring Kingpin into the Marvel Universe, though?
Yeah, no, I do.
So, like, maybe not Daredevil, but maybe Punisher and King. I don't know. Punisher, maybe not either. But Kingpin.
See,
once again, like, we have, in my opinion, the strongest villain they've ever created, and they created it for a TV show.
But I would say it's definitely in that Spider-Man universe, which I think while Spider-Man is superhuman, he still only kind of protects certain parts of the city, parts of New York. He's a very New York guy,
like you said.
Yeah. He fits in, and he has, like in the comic books, Kingpin and Spider-Man always go back and forth. But you're not going to see, Kingpin versus the Hulk.
Oh, of course not. But God, if they were to bring like everything back together with Kingpin, I don't know what they're doing with the whole Marvel landscape.
Another hypothetical question: Gomer Pyle.
Okay.
The cockroach from Men in Black.
Okay.
And Kingpin.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. All right, marry Kingpin because he's not a cockroach, and he's not Gomer Pyle. I'd fuck Gomer Pyle because he's not a cockroach. I'd kill the fucking cockroach
because he's a cockroach.
He's a cockroach. Yeah. I mean, also, I think Kingpin would be financially stable for marriage.
Way more than a cockroach.
Yeah, way more than cockroach or Gomer Pyle.
Yeah, totally agree.
A lot going on this week on Off Topic with Jeff and Eddie. We dove headfirst into everything Daredevil and discussed the difference between superheroes and everyday guys. Hope you liked the episode. Any questions, comments, or hate mail should be directed at offtopic915@gmail.com. I'm Jeff, speaking for Eddie Cruz. Until next time, thanks.